Professor Druker, Professor King, Professor Clemens, and Professor Holmgren, congratulations on being awarded the Prince Mahidol Award for 2018.
Thank you.
So I'd like to start off with the two gentlemen at the end, since you're farthest away from me. You're being recognized in public health. Could you tell us about your work and how it is that you came to work together and what you're being recognized for?
Well, we are jointly recognized for our work to develop and evaluate and introduce into public practice the oral cholera vaccines, which are important for the control of cholera in the world. And my work started as an immunologist in Sweden, trying to understand how the disease cholera was working and how immune protection against cholera could be working. And based upon that, we were successful in the late 1970s to develop the first effective oral cholera vaccine. But we didn't know that it was effective until it had been tested in an extensive large field trial in Bangladesh. And I came to meet Dr. Clemens in 1982, just before he was going out to Bangladesh and came to lead this very large first field trial of our oral cholera vaccine. And it was only after that that it was known that it did not only look promising, but it was actually quite effective also.
So a chance meeting. And did you have something to add?
Yes, Jan and I have continued to work together continuously since the mid-1980s on a, I would say, kind of a public health adventure with the goal of arriving at an inexpensive oral cholera vaccine, an inexpensive version of the vaccine we originally tested in Bangladesh that was affordable to the world's poor, because cholera is a disease of the world's poor. In searching for an evidence base that would convince policymakers, foundations, governments, not only to introduce the vaccine in their programs, but to fund the vaccine as well, because this particular vaccine, although very effective against cholera, now affordable and available, is of almost no interest to private vaccine producers, because the people who get cholera are the poorest people in the world who cannot afford to pay. So this involved developing an improved version of the original vaccine that was cheaper. It involved working with policymakers at global and national levels to find a way to make this work. And now the vaccine is stockpiled by the World Health Organization. Some 36 million doses have been given in 100 immunization campaigns in 22 different countries of Africa, Asia, and Haiti, most recently in the war-torn country of Yemen that has been ravaged by cholera. And everywhere the vaccine has been used, it's been found to be highly protective.
Very thankful for that. The entire world is, I'm sure. Okay, thank you very much. Professor King, you're being recognized for identifying the gene that is related to breast cancer. Can you tell us about your work?
Sure. I'm a geneticist, so I come to this question of women's health with the idea that we should be able to use tools of modern technology to prevent cancers and to detect those that occur very early. And my own work is simply one aspect of that. Cancers of women range from breast cancer, ovarian cancer, the cancers that I work most closely with, to cervical cancer, which affects women when they're much younger, even older girls. And the strategies that we must use to prevent each of those cancers differ. Cancers, many different diseases. So for cervical cancer, there's been fabulous work done, not at all by me, entirely by others, on the development of a vaccine, analogous to the vaccine we've just heard about for cholera, but a different sort of vaccine, and it works. And I'm very gratified to see that there are programs beginning in this country to make that vaccine very widely available. It's enormously important. My own work is on breast and ovarian cancer, typically much later onset, and our work is to identify that very small number of women who are at extremely high risk so that we can make services for prevention and for screening especially available to them. All this, one thing I've learned that I did not know nearly enough about before I came here is the degree to which our country, the States, is so deeply involved in partnership with Thailand, and has been for almost 100 years now, in the health sphere and education sphere, a whole variety of developmental activities. And this, I hope, will be yet another successful one.
Wonderful. And Professor Druker, you're being recognized for your work in the field of medicine along with Professor King. Tell us about your work.
Yes, so my work was trying to develop better therapies for cancer. The notion was that we could do better than chemotherapy by understanding what drives the growth of cancer cells and using that knowledge to develop specific treatments that kill the cancer cells without harming normal cells. Using that approach, we took on one particular type of leukemia called chronic myeloid leukemia. We developed a pill for this disease, and it took a disease that once had a 3 to 5 year life expectancy to a disease where now people are expected to live a normal lifespan.
That's great. That's so much hope for the people.
Yes, it is. But even more hopeful is we've taken that same paradigm, and now there are hundreds of other targeted agents. We are now understanding how the immune system can be harnessed to attack cancer, and really beginning to see a thread of optimism that we can actually attack and defeat cancer by using this knowledge, not only of advanced disease, but also, as Dr. King has done, applying that to early detection and prevention, and truly making an impact against cancer.
Again, that is so amazing. That's wonderful to hear that. And I know we're running out of time, they're telling me, but I just wanted to ask you, what challenges await us? Your work, I mean, it's helping us move forward, but do you see any major challenges, or is there nothing that we can't overcome?
I think my partners here said it exactly right. It's dissemination. All the modern discoveries in the world only work if governments and the public want to see them spread throughout the population.
Okay, and could you tell me quickly, how do you feel about receiving the award this year?
Well, this is
Professor
absolutely
Druker?
wonderful to receive the Prince Mahidol Award. We've learned so much about the remarkable life of Prince Mahidol, bringing excellence in medicine, public health to the Thai population, and to carry on in that tradition is an incredible honor for all of us.
Professor King, would you like to add anything?
He said it perfectly. Honored to be here.
And Professor Clemens?
It's a tremendous honor, and for me, it's even a double honor to be honored in conjunction with my very close and old friend and colleague, Jan Holmgren, and to be honored in Thailand, where I have many friends and many scientific colleagues, and have been working hand in hand since 1985.
Okay. And Professor Holmgren, you get to have the last word.
I can only join in saying that it's a tremendous honor to be receiving this prize. And particularly for me, who started out, I think, as a basic scientist in bacteriology and immunology, to see how this has come to become a product, but more important, something which is now really being used widely in the world and is proving to be highly valuable for human health.
Well, congratulations to all of you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much
very
for
much.
speaking with us.
Thank you.